Kia ora Canterbury and welcome to Canterbury Live on the 22nd of April. Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, we love, as you know, giving away tickets to things, whether it be to the theatre or maybe a night away, and today's no exception. Movies. There is a lot of great movies coming at the moment. We have some Hoyts tickets to give away, as well as there is a little game of rugby happening this Saturday between the Blues and the Crusaders. Be quite an interesting match, and let's hope the Crusaders bring it home, though I do just personally feel a little bit sorry for the Blues, but anyway. And to win those tickets, you just need to call through to Marianne on 03 3777 033 or go to our Facebook page and leave your details. Now, over my shoulder, you will see that beautiful painting from Ira Mitchell-Kirk. It is poppies in Flanders Fields, and you have an opportunity to have this in your home or your business. We just need you to call through to us or go to our Facebook page and leave details about why you deserve to win this for your home or business, or maybe it's to give it to someone else. But as you can see, it is stunning, and we can't wait to announce the winner this Friday on the show. Coming up on today's show, yes, beautiful Elora is here, and we're talking about that wonderful paleo diet, how she's a shrinking violet, but about how to maintain it during winter. Post note, it is a business that gives you opportunity to sell your bits and pieces for free. That's right, there's no success fees, it is all for free. So we catch up with them, and I'm back down to the Christchurch RSA with Pete Dawson. Of course, a special week in our history, which nicely leads me on to our first guest. Out at Rangiora, we have some very talented Cantabrians, and they are bringing a tribute to the stage, an Anzac theme. And I'm joined by two of the lead actors and the director. Welcome to Canterbury Live.
Thank you.
And it's fantastic that you're here and also doing such a wonderful play in a very special year. I'm joined by the director, Graham Wilson, actor Libby Wilson, welcome, and Thomas Pinkham. Thank you. Now, it's a play that was actually, the playwright is Dunedin playwright John Broughton.
Yes, that's right. Yes, he's a professor at the university there in dentistry and medicine, and also in Maori alternative health studies. Yes.
Wow, what an incredible CV he's got, hasn't he?
He's
really?
a very talented man. Yes, he's also in the Territorial Army, I believe, as the dental expert. So he has a strong understanding of the army as well. Right.
Now, Libby, tell us about the character you're playing, Harriet.
Harriet, she's actually a multiple role character. I begin as a tea lady, and so I'm just working at the railway station in the tea rooms, and then I transition into actually a soldier with the boys, and then I just do a few more other characters. Those are my two main ones, but I do like an Anzac nurse, and then an Egyptian prostitute, and a general's wife and things like that. Yeah.
Righty-ho. And for you though, Thomas, you're John, and you're returning home.
Well, that's what my sisters are waiting for.
Yes.
So I'm excited to leave and go to war, and I bid my sisters goodbye, and then I have a few adventures overseas, as in Egypt, and then after that we go to Gallipoli, and quite a lot happens there.
It certainly does, and we, thanks to Graham, we actually do have a snippet of some of the rehearsals that have been happening with Anzac, so have a look at that now.
I was there all right, and I saw it all. I was there all right in amongst it all. I saw our boys go over the top. I saw them hopping the bags. I saw them cut to pieces without a chance at all. I saw the gunners sweating to load their brass-wrapped shells of death to be spat out and spewed forth in a barrage of artillery fire. I saw the shells fall short. They landed amongst our own. They screamed with death upon our boys and silenced them for good. I saw the ground covered with bodies, writhing.
Pretty dramatic stuff there, isn't it, really? I think great picture painting, Graham.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yes, it really touched the heartstrings. It's an interesting story, this one, because often the Anzac stories are about blood and gore and battle, and there's no doubt this is in this play as well. But an important part of the play is we look at the other side of the story. We look at home and what was happening with particularly the women folk who were at home. We tend to forget the worry and the pain and concern they went through while they were waiting for their boys to return. And the story explores what's happening at home whilst the battles are going on elsewhere. And it's an interesting thing that we've had women coming in and watching rehearsals, and they've commented on how they like to see this other side of the story. Often we talk just about war and death and loss, and there's no doubt we certainly cover that, and we talk about the horrific part that went on. But for anyone who's thinking, oh, maybe it's not the sort of show for me, I'd ask them to think again. There's a very strong, poignant story running through there about how things were at home.
And we've got some images actually of you all dressed in your finery, because in amongst all the war, people still dressed well, didn't
Yes,
they?
they did.
There was definitely a pride, and you must be very proud to be part of this production, both you, Libby.
Definitely, yes. Yeah.
So this is where you hope to go forward then with your acting career. This is just a taste of
Always,
the future.
yep, always looking forward. Just wanting to keep going more shows. This one's been a great one though as a learning curve.
And for you, Thomas, this is the first time, though, this is the first play, isn't it, that's in the newly renovated building, is that right, Graham?
Yes, it is. Yes, this is the first play in the Rangiora Town Hall, which is a spectacular venue.
It's gorgeous.
It is absolutely gorgeous, and we're blessed to be the first ones in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Now the season, well, there's five different shows, from Wednesday the 22nd, so tonight,
Yes, we're open
7:30.
tonight, yes.
How fantastic! Right through to Saturday, which is wonderful, on Anzac Day at 7:30. You can actually purchase tickets online. $15.
Yes.
$15 for this talent, seriously, and it is incredible. Or you can purchase them in Rangiora at Stan's Pharmacy or at the Kaiapoi Eyesight. Very simple indeed. Graham, as a director, and you've been in the industry for 40 years.
Yes, and I feel
No.
every year of it today, yes.
What is a message at the end of the day that you'd love people to take away from coming along to the play?
That's an excellent question, thank you, because that's what we've been talking about. What the message there is, why are we repeating this nonsense? 100 years ago, we sent our boys to die in foreign fields, and today we're still doing that. We don't seem to have learned the lesson about war and its horrific outcomes. And it's a great time for people to reflect on how we should be thinking about the world today. We've come 100 years, but have we actually progressed at all in our attitude to each other? It's a nice time also. The play is around 2 hours long. It's a nice time to sit and reflect on what went on and how we feel about where we are 100 years later.
Some great thoughts. All the best for opening night tonight. I wish you all the very best and congratulations,
Thank you
Graham.
very much.
Wonderful. Stay with us after the break. We meet up with Postnote, a business helping you to save money while selling. See you soon.
She lives on Love Street, lingers long on Love Street.
I wonder if he comes with the car as well. That's not bad, is it?
Yes.
Postnote, I'd like to welcome along Lynette Diaz, and you are the Postnote Community Manager, and Diane Ramsey, one of the wonderful businesses that
Hello.
Postnote have been involved with, Retropolitan.
Thank you.
Love it. Postnote,
Yes.
sum it up to us. What is Postnote?
Postnote is a free buy-sell website, so there's no cost to users. Really, we like to say it's really well designed, and what sets us apart is we have these community managers like myself who go out and help small businesses and individuals and nonprofits. Yeah.
And it's free. That's the
It's
biggest
free.
thing to get across, is there is no success fees
Yeah.
or for posting anything. So it's like a free tool
Yeah,
to,
that's right.
to assist people.
Yeah, service listings, anything you want to buy or sell, and no cost ever.
Excellent.
Yep.
And then leading on to Retropolitan,
Yes.
how did Postnote help you in your business then?
Well, when Lynette came to me and told me about this, I was very dubious, and free?
Was.
Yes, I was. But she was very unpushy, and she explained to me where the funding comes from and so on. So I thought I had nothing to lose. And it's been great because the presentation of my stuff, that she comes in, takes the photos, does the blurb, loads them up, and I just get the feedback.
That's wonderful, isn't it? And
Yes.
Metropolitan is very groovy indeed. You've got the retro furniture and clothing as well.
Yes, and Crownland china, that sort of thing, yes.
Great. Whereabouts are you located?
I'm on Fitzgerald Avenue at the corner with Hereford Street. I was for 10 years opposite Pico in Barbados Street until the earthquake.
Yes. Okay, great. So definitely spot down there if you're a magpie and you like to find little bits and pieces.
Yes.
Lynette, this is just one of the many stories, though, of helping businesses.
Yeah, and you know, Diane kind of fits into an interesting aspect in our business. So when I look at helping small businesses, a lot of times I'm thinking about, because I don't go in for everyone, and because a lot of people are quite handy on the internet and they can kind of do their own pictures and things. But when I came into Diane's store, Diane says, you know, she knows email, that type of thing, but when it comes to using an iPad and taking photos, that type of thing.
She's a retro girl.
She's a retro girl, that's right. And so, I love that, and that's one of the best aspects of my job, being able to go into small businesses. And there's another gal, Chrissy from Chrissy's Labels, that I've been doing quite a bit of work with down in Sumner, and her business was affected after the earthquakes. And so I really try to look at businesses when I'm looking at small businesses that I can go into and kind of help them through some of these times that they've had. And but my service, because I'm salaried to do my job, I can go in and I can spend time helping small businesses. But I love helping nonprofits as well. And it's just something that Post-a-Note as a community, you know, that when we say community-based, we really mean it, that we're going out there and we're gonna help small businesses, individuals really make the most use of the website.
Okay, so to you, last words for you, Diane, then, is what do you say to those that are thinking, Post-a-Note, should I?
Well, you've got nothing to lose. A woman came in and bought quite a few things, and I said, how did you find out about the shop? Because of my new location, I often ask people, and she said, I've come in from Rangiora, but I saw it on Post-a-Note.
And there we are.
Yeah.
And there we are. That's simple as that. So go to the website, postanote.co.nz. That's postanote.co.nz. Find out more details. Thank you to both. All the best for Metropolitan.
Thank you.
Righty-ho. Now, again, we're back down to the Christchurch RSA, following on our history lesson around that wonderful new building. Before we continue, a history lesson here down at Armour Street at the Christchurch RSA. Quite a special book you have here, my friend.
It is, yeah. It's the original minute book of the Christchurch Returned Soldiers Club, and it shows the minute that of a meeting that was called by a guy called Captain Sir Donald Simpson, who had returned from Gallipoli via Cairo with a number of his fellow veterans after being wounded in Gallipoli. And they decided they needed to do something back here in New Zealand to help their colleagues and comrades who were going to be returning home from the Great War, to help them re-assimilate into the community, rehabilitate. And that meeting led on to a meeting on the 22nd of January, December 1915, where they actually formed the Christchurch Returned Soldiers Club. Now that organisation was the forerunner of the Royal New Zealand RSA. We were the first RSA in New Zealand, and the picture above here is our first club rooms. It was opened in 1921 after the people of Christchurch raised £13,000 to build that beautiful building that was called Jellicoe Hall. And it was named after Lord Jellicoe, who was the Governor General at the time. And he opened the building for us, and his foundation stone is out on the wall out here.
Brilliant. Let's head upstairs. We've got a couple of humorous parts of the history that are here at the RSA. Good on you. Let's head upstairs.
I'll just close this off and...
I'm loving this poster that we're seeing in front of us, Pete. The War Dog of New Zealand. A bit of a character, isn't he?
He is, isn't he? You know, it's great to see him there with the muku and the feathers and the tiki. standing on the New Zealand flag with a real snarl on his face as Kiwis are going to war, you know. That's the type of thing that happened back in 1914-15 when we were recruiting the first expeditionary force. The propaganda and the advertising was huge, and it encouraged these young men to head off for the great adventure that we know turned into a great tragedy. But that's the type of thing that was shown quite regularly around the country to get the guys, you know.
And there was a lot of paraphernalia that came out of the war.
Yeah, there was. I mean, look at all this stuff in here. It's all reflects the type of art and the information that people were they're using to recruit. And of course, it's very nationalistic.
And just the comment of saying, like, on that plate there, what time do they feed the sea lions? And obviously we're in there in the trenches in the war. There wouldn't really be many sea lions around at all.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just maybe more to do with the walrus type moustache and what have you there. A bit of trench humour. Right,
we're going to head next door because there is a poster there. Very clever indeed. Getting a message across in quite a fun way.
Okay, let's go and have a look.
Pete, humour was a pretty important ingredient, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. When you consider what the guys were going through, they need to keep their spirits up, and humour was very important to them. You know, it helped the guys relax. It helped them think about home, but it also gave them some important messages. You know, if you look at this one, for example, keep mum, she's not dumb, and careless talk costs lives. So it's the poster of the time, World War II. And you've got the guys there, you've got Army, Air Force and Navy, and a drink in their hands and cigarettes, and the lady reclining there, but it's telling a real serious message as well. And that's 1940s type humour that gets out there. You know, if you look at the Air Force one again, you know, it talks about the guy that, from the wreckage of his latest prunery, safe as ever he contemplated, and it goes on, you know. It just shows that the guys were able to smile at themselves, or able to laugh at themselves, but they were able to get on and do a serious job at the same time. And so this stuff is as important as the rest of the stuff we have here. Yeah, exactly. Because it shows the spirit.
Well, and that's it, because they did have to give a lot of heart to what they were doing, to leave what they knew.
Most of those guys were away for 5 or 6 years, you know, it's a long time. And being away from home, family, friends, you know, they made a whole new family where they were, but it was through their comradeship and their friendships that those guys survived.
Rolling over to our shoulder now, we've got a classic print here of when we think of Anzac Day. It's actually probably a lasting memory we have there, the lone soldier.
Yeah, that's more modern. That's a current New Zealand soldier. He's in his service dress. He's got his Steyr rifle there. He's wearing the very iconic New Zealand lemon squeezer. And of course, written next to it is the ode to the fallen that was written by Binion back in 1914. And we say that at every Anzac Day. We also say it over the graves of our fallen soldiers as a tribute to them and their service. And it just reads, "They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them." And those gathered there, when that is recited, then repeat, "We will remember them." And that's our commitment.
And on Friday's show, of course, the Christchurch president of the RSA, Pete Dawson, will be joining me on the show. Well, stay with us after the break. Yes, Alora is here, the paleo diet, and how can we keep it going during winter?
Once upon a different life.
Alora, how can we keep on the paleo path in winter?
Winter is a hard one. There's always so many different options. Obviously, people love going out for food. People love hot food. Winter's a real sort of comfort food kind of area. But if you're wanting to keep it simple and things that are portable, one of my favourites is a winter salad, which we've got here in front of us that I've brought with us. So that one there is roast kumara and roast pumpkin, mixed with green beans and broccoli. You can also add in some other, some roast red onion would be really nice in it, and some grilled chicken as well. And there's also some steamed broccoli celery and green beans in there with a lime balsamic dressing, which is just light olive oil, bit of balsamic dressing and some lime juice, and I've also put a touch of honey in there as well.
Is it just that little bit of sweetener?
Yeah.
Because we still do crave it. Like, do you still crave the sweetness?
Yeah, definitely. I know it's been about 2 years now, and I still get bouts where like yesterday I really wanted like random things, and to me I kind of class bread as a sweet thing because it is carbohydrate dense, and that's normally a sweet thing. So like yesterday I wanted garlic bread 1 minute, and then the next minute I really wanted like a bowl of cereal. And I mean, I'm 2 years into it, so it is interesting, and you do want those sweet things. So you get the sweetness and the kumara and the pumpkin in there, and then you get some really nice green veggies in there as well. And it's so easy to add your protein. You can pick anything. Chicken would go particularly well with it, with a nice warm spice on it, and all sorts.
Because when you go to the roasted veggies, that's something that we could do the night before, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like, this could be perfect lunch for the next day.
Exactly.
So when you roast your veggies, do you do like a big tray? So you
I do.
Yeah. So talk us through that.
I will normally do a few different ones. So I'll cut up a bit of pumpkin, some kumara. I really like roast carrots, capsicum, red onion, things like that. All go in, and I will use either, which this one makes some people cringe, is free-range pork lard. To cook it in, because it gives it a really nice sort of flavour, and you're using animal fat, which is good for you.
Well, I'm going to call you on that.
Yeah.
Free range pork lard.
Yeah.
Now, lard, you're too young to know lard. I know that dripping and all those things we used to have when we were children. That's what you cooked in. We didn't have these oils that you have now.
Exactly.
So what are you saying about that?
So nothing wrong with it. It's an animal byproduct. It's free range, so the piggies are happy, which is very important. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's an animal fat at the end of the day, and I'm a huge fan of using every part of the animal. So use the bones to make a broth, use the lard to cook things in, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, how in excellent health are our grandparents and mothers and fathers and things like that who used to eat that frequently.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that too. When you say about every part of the animal, can offal be a part of the paleo diet?
Offal is excellent. I'm still working up to it. As close as I get to it is pate, but definitely offal is so good for you. There are so many nutrients contained in offal that the body needs, and it is one great way to get it. I was at a friend's house yesterday, and her husband had made his own lunch for the week, and I almost don't want to mention what it was, but it had heart, liver, kidney, a can of tomatoes and some coconut cream in it.
Wow.
And that's what he was having, but he's very into it, and I'm not so into it, so pate's probably as close as I'll get.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite a fan. I love lamb's fry and bacon.
Yeah.
I just think that's so yummy, and the benefits from it.
Exactly.
Could that fit into a paleo?
Most definitely.
There
As
you
long
go.
as the bacon you're getting is good bacon, not chock full of stuff. I like to get bacon with no more than sort of 3 ingredients in it, and you don't want something that's pumped full of water either.
So organic?
Organic is really good, free range obviously. Supermarket brands that I would get close to are the brand called Henderson's Bacon. They're really good. Or if you go to somewhere called Liberty Market, they do a Havoc Family Farm bacon, which is nitrate free, which are your preservatives in everything, and sugar free. And that's your best option.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura. Well, you definitely have brought home the bacon today. Very tasty indeed. We'll see you next time. Rightio. Now on tomorrow's show, it's very special indeed. Pete Smith spends time at Christ College, and we show you how they commemorate Anzac Day. And Cabaret La Vie, an Anzac tribute, a musical tribute happening out at Ohoka. All this and much more tomorrow. Have a great day. See you then.